Let me ask a question just about the brutality against reporters there. This is one of the concerns I have about the ability to get the free flow of information out around the Ukraine. We had both Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, and the Voice of America targeted by security forces there, pro-Yanukovych security forces. We had 2 Radio Free Europe reporters who were badly beaten and then detained in January. A prominent journalist and contributor was forced to leave the Ukraine due to death threats in mid-January. And in VOA, we had a Ukrainian service TV reporter who faced repeated intimidation following his coverage of the Automaiden motorcade protest. So in the run-up to the next elections in the Ukraine, it seems to me that uncensored information, sort of a surrogate radio to give real-time information about what's actually happening on the ground and to discredit misinformation is going to be very important. What steps are being taken to increase messaging to the Ukrainian people? And specifically, one of my concerns is how do you focus that, target that to eastern Ukraine and maybe people in Crimea to make sure that they've got the real case of what's going on?
Thank you, Chairman. We have been working very effectively with the public diplomacy arm of the embassy to do exactly that. As you saw, the White House fact sheet yesterday came out about the top 10 myths that are being portrayed out there. The independent media has been a really bright spot that we've seen throughout Ukraine over the years. Just today, the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center was stood up by Ukrainian activists themselves. And these are things that we honestly don't have to financially support because they're doing it themselves. However, we are trying to give a bit of a bully pulpit and try to amplify the messages that they're putting out. I think you're right. In the lead up to the elections, that will be one of the most important elements, is to make sure that this information is out there. And we've been training journalists, and we've been working effectively with a lot of burgeoning stations that really have been trying to get the message out.
I do think, and I've talked to Croatian journalists and others. Years ago, I tried to restart Radio Free Yugoslavia. By the way, we never had that. That was the one country we never broadcast in during the Cold War, and I've had a number of reporters there tell me that you saw the way the Czech Republic and Slovakia handled this without any loss of life. They told me if there had been a surrogate radio like we had with RFE broadcasting into the country, it wouldn't have been possible with hate radio for each of these ethnic groups to whip up the types of hatreds that were created. And that's why I think at the end of the day, having this kind of capability going in before the election, while at the same time reassuring Russian-speaking Ukrainians, that the Ukrainian government is going to respect all languages. But I think these broadcasts have to be not just in Ukrainian, but in Russian. I'm going to follow up with you on that, but let me just say at this moment we're going to have to adjourn in order to get to the floor for the final vote. Thank you very much for your testimony here today.